What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Tonight, I have a special guest with me, WinkillerInc from the Shattered Order podcast. Wink, go ahead and say hello to all the gentle listeners out there.
Hello, everybody. How is it going?
And in case you guys don't know, Wink is a huge fan of the clones. Isn't that right, Wink?
When they're dead, yes.
Yeah, he's not a big fan of clones, but maybe one day I'll finally convince him that clones are good. I know. I was really hoping that with Shock T you'd actually finally work on them, but still not going to happen.
Yep, not anytime soon.
I tell you what, though, what if they become the new meta? Would you work on them then?
I would work on killing them, yes.
You'd be the guy to go to for counters on the clone team then.
Exactly, yeah. That'd be a good business.
Tell me, man, all you have to do is just watch the Clone Wars series and your mind's going to change on the clones.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. Not buying it, but we'll see.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know who the Shadow Order podcasts are, it's Wink and his good friend GMP Goodnight Punk, and they do live streams on Twitch. There are going to be links to both their YouTube channel and their Twitch channel down below. Definitely go check them out, subscribe. But tonight, we want to talk about this Padme Amidala and C-3PO team. Wink, you and I have been testing this out, and we've actually been getting incredibly good results on it.
Yeah, it's super consistent. I think I have more consistency taking down like elite Malak teams using a Padme team than other people with Darth Malak in my arena, because those mirror matches, if you're not quite there with the mods as the team that you're fighting, you can be at a disadvantage from the very beginning. But with this Padme team, you kind of use a completely different style of mod set, and you can totally wreck face with it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, most people are like, oh, Revan's so fast, you're going to have like a competing speed team with them to really help counter it. That is not the case with this Padme team. Yeah, actually, not. Yeah, the really surprising thing is it's paramount that you don't have Padme be the fastest character on your team because of her ability to flip buffs. So let's go ahead and dive into the mods for this team. And I'm going to let Wink take the floor here, guys. The way you guys can see, he's actually very good when it comes to modding. He loves modding. Mine is his thing. So, Wink, I'm going to let you take the floor here. And let's go ahead and start with modding first. Let's focus on the leader for this team. Let's talk about Padme and her modding.
So, Padme, I do think there are probably more options for in a way. I have an offense set on her with an offense arrow. I have a ton of secondary offense. I also have a health set and 3 health primaries, and they are sliced to 6 dots, so I'm getting the 16% because that health is absolutely critical. And I know that you are running a little bit more health on Padme than I am, but I have figured out that going with a little bit more offense is really beneficial because most of the time this team will come down to 5, your whole team versus just Malak. And because Padme cannot be inflicted with fear, she's at a big advantage because she will always attack. So it's very important to be doing damage, and you don't want to put crit damage on her, not because, it makes her do less damage or something. It's just she's not going to crit against Malak. When you will get to a point where he has the 3 stacking locked buffs on him, and you will not crit him. So you're better off just stacking up a whole lot of offense and just trying to smash through him, and it works very well.
Yeah, I mean, for her, I kind of just threw whatever I had on her. I've got 2 sets of health and a set of defense. I'm not really sure why I have the defense on there. I think just to show how like unnecessary it can be on her.
Yeah,
for turns. It's really you don't have to stack a lot of speed on her. Buff up some offense on her, but also throw a lot of health on them, and that's going to be a repeating thing with most of these Galactic Republic characters.
Absolutely,
is because of that leadership with Padme, because that lead gives, I believe, 50% max health bonus to light side allies. So that's going to be a common theme here. So let's go ahead and go over next to C-3PO. He's the other character here that you're going to find is pretty paramount. And Wink, how do you have him modded?
So I basically have a speed set and a health set on him. I have a speed and potency set with a potency primary. And other than that, that's really all I shoot for, because he's not going to get targeted. You're never going to be in a position where he's likely to die or anything along those lines, unless he's really low gear level or something, then maybe. But for the most part, I don't think you have a whole lot to worry about with 3PO. You just want him to be the fastest character on the team. That is the only thing that matters. His absolute speed doesn't particularly matter too much. More is better because, the more often he can inflict confuse or call people in, that's better. But for the most part, I'm not particularly worried about it. Remember that he does get 20 speed from his unique ability, so make sure you calculate that in whenever you're setting up your turn order.
Who do you want to tackle next? Let's tackle General Kenobi.
I like that because he is the character that, usually when you go to mod a team and you're looking for your mods, when you go in and you go to sort by a particular stat, you usually sort by speed, right? That's generally what people do. Not with General Kenobi. No, you want to sort by health. On the health percent primaries, you want to sort by flat health. And then on the square and the diamond, you just want to figure out which mod you have gives the most overall health. It may be a combination of using a mod that has both or whatever. But you want to go absolutely as much health as possible with him being faster than Padme. That's basically all you're looking for.
Yeah, you definitely did not stack speed on GK like I did. Nope. But, even then, it goes back to the thing, we're both getting pretty solid results, even with, me going with a faster and less healthy General Kenobi, you going with a slower, much more tanky General Kenobi. We're both still getting pretty solid results. So, and even then, it's going back to this whole thing about speed is not everything when it comes to this Padme team.
Absolutely not. It's about the health.
Jedi Knight Anakin.
All right, Jedi Knight Anakin. This is probably going to be a little controversial. I do have a crit damage primary triangle on him, but I only have it there to add some speed onto him because I want him... I put a little bit more speed on him and Ahsoka Tano, but I wanted Anakin to be a little bit faster, so I put that on there. Honestly, I think with Jedi Knight Anakin, you kind of want to go with the same strategy as General Kenobi, except a little bit more speed because you do actually want him to go earlier than Kenobi. But, I have 3 health primaries with the 3 health sets, and, I kind of look for a combination of secondary speed, offense, and health as all of his secondary stats. So if a mod had all 3 of those, I'm in a pretty good spot. I like it. So that's kind of what I looked for with him. Just because the amount of damage they do from courage, it is such a significant portion of the total damage output that they're doing. You don't really need, like an offense set or a crit damage set for them to do a ton of damage.
No. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about courage, especially when it's Ahsoka's turn and she's got her special ready to go, and she uses her special and just one-shots a character off the board.
Yep.
Like I almost always use that on HK-47 because I gotta get rid of him because I know how much of a danger he can be a Jedi. Speaking of Ahsoka Tano, let's talk about her mods.
All right. Man, her mods aren't that much different than General Kenobi's. Other than I don't have a crit damage primary on her. I literally have 4 health primaries with the 3 health sets and tried to find a lot of secondary health and, some secondary speed. And that's pretty much how she's modded.
Yeah, and you and I could not be more different on how we modded Ahsoka. I went for a lot of damage on her. I got the crit damage triangle, got the offense cross. I do have a speed arrow on her, and I do have the health circle. But the one thing that I really went for was, if you go through and you look at them, pretty much all the mods I have on her either give her percent health or like a flat amount of health on it, except for her arrow. Pretty much you just need to buff up her health because she's naturally a very squishy target. Let's talk about this team overall and our experiences. We pretty much go for the same thing when we talk about when we fight this team. We keep that slow Padme, that way we can get all the debuffs out from Fallen Bastila, HK-47. Once those debuffs are out, we then use Padme's ability to flip it. It's not unusual to see that when you dispel those debuffs, to have somewhere between 10 and 15 stacks of protection up on all of your Galactic Republic allies after she uses that ability.
Yep. I mean, it's...
Yeah,
I've seen multiple times where, Jedi Knight Anakin or Padme have over 30 stacks of courage, and, I mean, that's a death sentence to whoever they're targeting.
Yeah, and side note, can we talk about how frustrating it is to see, 60 stacks of courage on C-3PO, and you can't do anything about it?
It's,
you see that, and you're like, if he could just
do anything. Just kick a pebble. He could do anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Just give him something. He would just one-shot the entire team right now. Just give him something.
Yep.
It's so funny. It's like, man, that guy's really courageous. He's got so much courage, and then he gets feared, and you're like, well, why?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, so C-3PO, talking about him, what does he bring to this team that just makes it so good for countering Malak?
It's honestly, it's really only one thing, and it is the fact that he gives protection up to characters whenever they gain a buff. That's I mean, that's really the biggest thing by a long shot. Let's see, it's his intermediary unique ability says all allies have the plus 10% defense penetration, which is nice. Each time a Galactic Republic or Ewok ally gains a different non-unique, non-protection buff, they gain 15% protection up for 2 turns. And it's really important that it's 15% and not 10% because that's just an additional stack of courage. And then for each stack of translation, they get the defense penetration stuff. But, like when General Kenobi, he can gain foresight and retribution at the same time. That's 30% protection up that he's gaining right there.
Yeah.
And that is huge whenever, Malak comes in and does the health steal. He can take 100% of, General Kenobi's health, which I think on my General Kenobi, in the team, it's 125,000 health, but he turns around and he's got protection up and he's healing back up, and, that protection up's so crucial to keeping him alive.
Yeah, that plus the dispel or the stun on Padme, which cannot be dispelled, which is a huge counter to Revan teams because Revan's leadership cleanses ability blocks and stuns.
Yes.
So if you have a stun that can't be dispelled, that pretty much just kind of it counters one of the big things about Revan.
It's huge.
And one thing we haven't brought up yet is the confuse ability with C-3PO on his basic. The first stack of Confuse prevents that target from gaining buffs.
Yeah.
So in the off chance that someone on your team gets shocked or feared, and you have a stack of Confuse on Malak, he then can't taunt.
Yes.
And that's been one of the big problems, is that if Malak taunts and you're running a super heavy crit chance team, you're kind of screwed because you're just going to keep getting feared over and over again if you can't dispel it. But if you can prevent him from gaining that taunt with something like Confuse or Buff Immunity, that allows you to focus down the other characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The order of operations for this team is pretty simple. Let the enemy team do their debuffs, flip it with Padme, and then I use Ahsoka's special to one-shot HK-47 or Fallen Bastila, whichever one I feel like taking out first. Usually I go for HK-47, and then I'll use Anakin to take out Fallen Bastila. At that point, it's usually 5-on-3, but, with Malak on the enemy team. And then it just kind of becomes a whole, can you land the healed immunity or undispellable stun on Malak and slowly work him down?
Yep.
How do you handle these teams usually?
It's pretty much the same way. Like I said, I have Anakin going first. I'm starting to come around that overall, it might be more beneficial to have Ahsoka faster. I'm not strongly opinionated. I think they both have their merits for being faster. I will usually use Anakin's AoE targeting Bastila Fallen, and then I will use Ahsoka's special on HK-47 or Sith Marauder, whichever one's there. And, at that point, there should already be buff immunity through Confuse on Malak, so you don't have to worry about him taunting. And, once those two are taken out, it's pretty easy. Darth Revan's not really a concern at that point. It's entirely about Malak. And, the only thing you really have to worry about is getting Darth Revan below 50% health, because he will equalize, and that equalization will likely trigger Darth Malak's health steal. So whenever you decide to go and take out Darth Revan, you need to make very sure that your General Kenobi has full health with some protection or massive amounts of protection up. Otherwise, Malak will take him out. And it's really important that Kenobi kind of sticks around once Darth Revan's gone, because he makes managing Darth Malak just so much easier.
Yeah, I think actually I've been kind of using that equalization Zeta on Darth Revan to my advantage, is that I use that to bypass certain amounts of damage on Malak, so that I can go ahead, ignore Malak, and once I'm ready, I'll do a dump of damage on Revan, make sure healing and buff immunity is on Malak, hit Revan, force him to equalize with Malak, and then I'll just go ham on Malak. Basically, let Darth Revan do some of the work for you.
Yes, that is not a bad idea.
I think, yeah, that's actually something I've been using. Once I started using that, my tactics actually became a whole lot easier. And that's another beautiful thing, is that parts of Padme's kit and just really is a good counter to what some of the parts of Revan's kit as well, like the Undispellable Stun we talked about, and then forcing that equalization health on the health to work against that team. And yeah, that's going to bring in another thing, is the Zetas on this team. I know a lot of people are going to see the amount of Zetas that were around this team and kind of balk at it. But I mean, the argument at the same time is, when you run against a Darth Revan team that has all the Zetas on it, you can't just scrape by with one or two Zetas on a team anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you need multiple Zetas on this team for it to work. I think there are 4 that are absolute must-haves. Padme's leader, Jedi Knight Anakin, General Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano. I think those 4 are pretty much required to make Malak's a cakewalk. The other ones, I don't particularly think you need. The 5th would probably be 3PO's special ability.
Yeah, I mean, that Zeta on Anakin, outside of Darth Revan, you don't really find many uses for it, but that Zeta on Anakin is pretty much made to counter Darth Revan teams.
It 100%. That was one of the last Zetas I did on this team, and I did not realize what kind of game changer it was on this team. It completely flipped how good this team was, just because it's the safety valve of the team. When somebody gets knocked down below half health, he gets to go, hopefully do an AoE, give protection up, and then more importantly, Padme can come in and heal, or give protection up, or stun someone who's about to attack. I mean, it really does save your team a whole lot of damage.
Any closing thoughts on this team?
Get it geared. I mean, it's fun. Get to slicing health primaries. I think they're highly underrated.
Yeah, if you're looking for a Darth Revan and Darth Malak counter, this team is going to be what you're going to use for pretty much the foreseeable future until we get something else out there.
Yep.
So that is pretty much going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the actually pretty friendly mod requirements on this team? Not having to stack a lot of speed on it.
Yep.
Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this team. You guys have any questions or comments, drop them down below. Again, do check out the Shattered Order. I'll have a link to their YouTube channel and their Twitch channel as well. Thank you so much for coming on tonight to talk about this, Wink.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will talk to you guys later.
Later.